r/ask Reddit. What is considered cute when done by a kid but illegal when done by an adult? Sit on people's laps. Demand to be picked up. I don't know. Had a tiny girlfriend once. She was always on my lap, though she hated being picked up. People seemed to think it was okay just because she was little. My mom always loved to tell how when I was first being potty trained, when I had to go number 2, I would pull my pants down in the living room before trotting to use the toilet. Pants around ankles. Something tells me it wouldn't go over as well now. I did that once at preschool. Stopped at the bathroom door to drop my pants before going inside to use it. Don't think my classmates noticed, but a teacher did and told me not to do that. I wasn't embarrassed by it either, but I do remember thinking at that moment that just maybe this isn't quite how it's supposed to go, but I'm gonna do it anyway because convenience. Taking shortcuts through PPLS yards. Those were the days. My friends and I did this to get to the next street, like it was our own property. My 3-year-old ran up to a large man with a shirt too small for his body at a BBQ joint in Chicago and gave him a big hug. He thought it was cute and he walked away. When I asked her why she hugged him, she told me so I could lick him. She licked the man's underbelly. Imagine the man's utter confusion when he walks away and feels a cold patch on his underbelly. As Ray Romano said, when your kid discovers he can get an erection for the first time and runs out of the bathtub going pee pee big, it is cute and all. When grandpa does it, it is sad and disturbing, but grandpa has more reason to be happy. Gramps used Harden. It was very effective, for now. When I was 5 or so, I went to a baseball game with my dad and he wouldn't let me get popcorn. I really wanted popcorn. I walked away and sat on a random man's lap plus started eating his popcorn. I closed my eyes and pretended like I thought it was my father, like, "Oh dad, you got popcorn, thanks," because my child mind thought my dad would believe I thought it was him and wouldn't get mad. I don't think that would be very cute as a 21-year-old. Best thing I've read all day. My friend, when he was just crawling apparently, was at a beach with his mum. She looked away for a second and he'd crawled over to a nearby topless sunbather sleeping on her back and tried to suckle on her. Obviously she screamed and it didn't get far, but after much embarrassment they did all laugh it off. As an adult, that's probably prison time. Even as a literal baby it could have been much worse depending on the woman's response. Playing doctor. Franco Backnail has entered the chat. Running around in public naked. My 3-year-old was being potty trained at the time and I took him to McDonald's after his vaccinations to cheer him up. He had a great time until he announced to me that he wet himself. So I go to my bag to get a change of trousers and pants to hear people laughing and I look up from my bag. He dropped his trousers and pants to the floor and was shuffling to the bathroom door with them around his ankles with a big grin on his face. Just his little butt exposed. I couldn't even be embarrassed. It was too funny. A baby can drink a bottle and fall asleep and it's cute. When I drink a bottle and go to sleep I got problems. Sucking on your mom's boobies. Being attracted to other kids. That's illegal as an adult. Looks like Uncle Murray has some explaining to do. When they ask a question and follow it by saying don't say no, or when they wait outside your bathroom door asking details of what you're doing in there, like do you have a penis or 2 butts. Saying they want to marry their mom or dad. Yikes. My nephew, who is 5, was having a sleepover with my son, who is 4. We were eating dinner and somehow the subject of husband and wife came up, and my nephew asked who my husband was. I am not married, so I explained that I didn't have one. He nonchalantly said, "Well, that's okay, cause you will just marry your dad. He can be your husband." Nope, buddy, that's not how it works. My 2-year-old stroked a flight attendant's behind with both hands as she was shifting something in the overhead bin next to our seat. Her skirt was very tight fitting, right in front of his face, and I guess he just thought it looked nice to touch. She whipped her head around at light speed with a glare to send the offender up in flames. When she saw it was just a toddler and I apologized, she looked relieved and laughed. The way she reacted, though, made me think she probably has that happen way too often by grown gross dudes, comma. Seems like a bunch of people have already mentioned public nudity, so I'll go with murder. There's a large gulf between they won't put you in jail and cute. Not paying taxes. Ah, look at little Johnny not filing a 1040. How cute. When a kid walks up to a random person and pukes on them, nothing bad happens, but when I puke on random people it's illegal and concerning, like WTF. Falling in love with kids. Depends on how rich and famous you are. Sticking your head under ladies' dresses. The dress here is made out of dress. My toddler, 2, once ran around our house naked, sat in my lap, took a shit and left. Does that count? Was cute until she shit. Then it was funny after I calmed down. Plus this will be the go-to story to tell for every one of her graduations. And of course at her wedding. Dressing up as a cop. One time when I was little, early 2000s, I accidentally faxed a picture of Geodude from Pokemon to the police from my grandma's fax machine. The picture was still in there because my grandma made copies of all my drawings and I thought the fax machine was a phone, so I tried to call 911. In the end, I dialed the police and sent them a picture of Geodude with zero context. My grandma wasn't happy about it, LMAO. Sir, what is it? Something's telling me this is going to be a hard case, chief. Grabbing all boobs cause you think they mean food. Not sure if this really answers the question, but I work in an elementary school and one day a group of 7-year-old girls ran up to me at recess asking if they could go bye-bye. I said sure and they jumped onto the ground and pretended to sleep. A few minutes later they ran up to me asking if they could come and I just stood there processing for a minute. I didn't need 7-year-old girls running around saying Mr. said we can come. So I sent them to their primary teacher. I guess it wouldn't be illegal for an adult to ask to come, but I sure as hell would be creeped out. Selling crack at 3 AM. When my brother was 5 and we had one of our voluptuous neighbors over, he went over to her and palmed both of her breasts and said, "You've got big ones, neighbor," in Portuguese. Grabbing a stranger's butt and giggling. Chasing kids and trying to touch them tag. Enrolling as a student in a kindergarten. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.